Hello, hello, hello there everyone. Alex here with Lucksack Games, and I'm here to bring you another league. This time, we're going to be playing it in Legacy, and this time, we're running Leylines. You'll notice it's nicknamed Haha Dead. The reason why is because this deck can technically attack for lethal on the first turn of the game. So, for those of you that are unfamiliar, how this works is when you have a pregame effect, it has happened before your first upkeep. So you will control all of the ley lines, and they will not be summoning sick. Then you play a Serra Sanctum, you play an Opalescence, and you attack for lethal. See what we can do. Alright, one die roll. We like to play first. We would. This hand's not our turn 1. This hand puts 8 power into play on turn 2? Turn 3? I'm going to go ahead and keep this. We're going to go ahead and keep. Probably bad, but I like that we already have Opalescence plus Serra Sanctum. So I'm going to start with both these in play. And then we're going to play Mana Confluence, and we're going to pass the turn. We don't want to open Serra Sanctum up to Wasteland if we don't have to, but we will have to eventually. We cannot play lands at instant speed with Leyline. Just non-lands. But it's got a Misty Rainforest and what looks like a pass. Nope. Misty Rainforest into a Brainstorm, maybe? So we did have to have 4 more Leylines for Opalescence to be able to swing for lethal, or to be able to activate turn 1. Chose to shuffle and draw. Okay. Lotus Petal. This looks like it's probably show and tell. Alright, I guess we're attacking for 8 this turn. So, crop rotation. Grab Serra Sanctum, tap for 2, play Serra Sanctum. Choose to keep the untapped one, cast Opalescence. Alright, let's attack for 8. This is kind of what the deck's looking to do. So let's start beating down with our Leylines here. If they are on Storm, then this hit to the life total will matter. Misty Rainforest tells me they're probably more likely to be Sneak and Show, though. Here's a Brainstorm. So we're 2 attacks out, guys. We managed to get 8 power into play. See if it's going to be good enough. The good news is also, of that 8 power, 4 of it is giving us Hexproof currently. Also, our Serra Sanctum now successfully taps for 3, so we can cast a Serum Power to enable a second Opalescence. Huh. So actually, if we just draw any land off the top, we kill our opponent, because Opalescence plus 2 Leylines is lethal. Let's hope to rip a land off the top, shall we? Land? Unfortunately, it was one of our dozen Leylines, so I'm not surprised. Gonna go ahead and attack in here. Attack for 8. So hopefully opponent is not going to sneak attack an Emrakul next turn, and we're going to pass the turn. Please don't sneak attack an Emrakul, opponent. That's a Ponder. It's also possible, like I said, that they are still on Storm. It's very unlikely with that fetch of Volcanic, but they might already have another fetch in hand for Underground. Much more likely to be Sneak and Show. Alright. See what our opponent fetches for here. They are Storm. Okay. Alright. So since they're Storm, we're going to go ahead and flash in the Serum Powder here, and then we're just going to pass through the turn. Opponent could very easily have a way to remove this Leyline, but we're going to make them show us a way to remove this Leyline. Opponent, if they're on tests, could also be on Goblins. Shame we didn't hit the land, because we actually would have had lethal. It's good to know that they're Storm, though. It's also a shame this Leyline of Anticipation was not Leyline of the Void. So we obviously don't get to know what the opponent tutored for here. I think this is just a trying to go off, but once again, this Leyline of Sanctity, to the best of my knowledge, is protecting us. I'm sure there's a Storm aficionado out there, or in the future, that's telling me why it's very likely our opponent still kills us here. But we just sit here and make them do it. If we didn't have Leyline of Sanctity, like if it had been Leyline of Life Force and the blue Leyline beating in here, pretty sure we couldn't get there. Since it's instead the white Leyline, I'm gonna make them kill us. This is preordained. Kind of exciting. This is kind of a fun league already, right? We got to put 8 power in play on turn, what was it, 2? The crop rotation? Yeah. That's not bad. 2 4-power attackers. It turns out it might be enough of a clock against Storm. They still have 2 cantrips and a tutor effect, mind you. So let's see what they're doing with that. Cabal Ritual seems good. Lotus Petal. It's possible opponent also does have Goblin's main deck. I don't think we beat Goblins. So that would not be ideal for us. It might also... It's unlikely the opponent's just going off to have some fun with their Storm deck. So I believe that the opponent actually does have an answer to this Leyline. It would be hilarious if they actually had to just end up bouncing something. Because in that case, they would bounce Opalescence. Because they're at 1, it would turn all our things off, and then we play our second Opalescence, and it's looking pretty good for us. So once again, if this is Goblins at Storm Count 13, that's going to look pretty bad for us. But if it's anything else, I think we've won. Another Brainstorm. Yep. Opponent now only has black mana, so they can tutor, but they can no longer cantrip. They have an Infernal Tutor, but they have 3 cards in hand, so that one no longer grabs whatever they want. See what they have. Alright, we got there. Game 1 with Leylines. Yeah, that's exciting. Alright. So against Storm, we want these Ethersworn Candace. We want these Chalice of the Voids. I actually don't know if that's true. I feel it might be diluting our deck a little much. Let's see what we're cutting and go from there. I don't think we'll really have the time to be able to tutor. Oh, we do get to tutor 4 Canonist? That's hot. Alright, actually, I guess we just get to trim on the bad Leylines, right? Leyline of Combustion just kills them, right? Whenever you become the target of a spell or an ability, it deals 2 damage to that player. That's kind of insane, right? If I'm understanding that interaction correctly. And Leylines of the Meek would just pump up their tokens, so... Ooh, we don't want Surgical. I did not mean Surgical. 3 Chalice, let's give this a shot. 3 Chalice, 3 Ethersworn Candace. If any of you out there are a Leylines expert and feel that I've done something wrong, please speak up. I'd love to know. Alright, this one's keep. So we're going to pregame 3 Leylines this time. So none of those were of Sanctity, unfortunately. So if the opponent does not play out their 0 drops here, we're going to slam this Chalice on 0. We'll also crop rotation for Opalescence and cast the Serum Powder. Okay. The opponent did not cast out those 0 drops, so I'm going to play this Chalice of the Void on 0. Alright, now we're going to crop rotation this. Now all we need to do is draw Opalescence off the top, and we're swinging for 12. Yep. Opalescence off the top, please. So, things that work. Opalescence, we can cast immediately. Enlightened Tutor is Opalescence with Suspend 1. If they bounce this Chalice, we replay it out on 2, I guess. Actually, that might have been worth waiting for. I think since if they hadn't played out those 0 drops, they probably would have gone for a Chalice on 2 line. We have a Leyline Punishment opponent. Like, our third one. We think it's just as funny, trust me. Opalescence? Oh no, that would have been a really cool one to start the game with. Alright, so we're just going to yield through this turn. We are at the mercy of our draw steps, unfortunately. But we have Starfield of Nyx. We have Enlightened Tutor. We have so many things that we can draw to right now that will get us there. Something good? No, not another Leyline of Lightning. Alright, we passed the turn here. So, like I said, we have about a dozen things we want to draw to here. This looks like an Echoing Truth. It is not an Echoing Truth. That actually surprises me. It's just a fetch to thin then. Alright, passing to us. Let's see what we've got. Oh, that's Clock. That's Clock. That's 2/2. Also going to limit how much our opponent gets to cantrip if they happen to hit a cantrip. So that's pretty good. See if they have a way to kill this Canonist. Look, this looks like the Echoing Truth turn with this much of a pause. Unfortunately, Ethersworn Canonist does not stop them from playing out all their 0 drops. But if they play out all their 0 drops, and then or bounce Chalice and then play out all their 0 drops, we're slamming Chalice on 2. Alright. Passing the turn. So it's the opponent's turn. Let's see what they have. Their spell for this turn will be a Ponder. That's a pretty good one, mind you. We're hoping our spell is Opalescence. Draw. Unfortunately, this turn it looks like it will be Serum Powder. Let's get in there for 2. Keep in mind, also every time we attack, we're making their ad nauseums worse. Alright, pass turn. So we're just drawing to Opalescence. Now, yeah, Enlightened Tutors still suspend 1 because it goes top of library. Doesn't matter that we now have the mana to cast it. We've given our Storm opponent way too many turns, though. Be very surprised if we win this game. It is now turn 6, and they're at 16. It's not a lot of pressure we put on them. So, drawing another red Leyline's not exactly where we wanted to be at. Leyline of Lightning says whenever I cast a spell, I can pay 1 and it deals damage to target player or planeswalker. Alright. And players can't gain life and damage can't be prevented. So this is the one we really wanted to have, is the Leyline of Combustion. So their one spell this turn will be a Duress, which can take any of our Leylines. If they read Combustion, they'll know that they want to take that one, because if we ever draw double Mana Confluence, when we cast that one, it's pretty much game. That is the one they take. Alright, our turn. Unfortunately, we can't play that one out, but that also makes Starfield of Nyx into a hot draw as well. So we're going to get in there for 2, and then pass it his turn. Take a quick peek at my sideboard. Yep, all of them are still in my deck. I cut Leylines, not that effect, so... We're now at the point where if we draw it, we've killed our opponent. Well, we were at that point last turn, but... We're really hoping to draw Opalescence deck. So let's see, 4 Opalescence, 4 Enlightened Tutors, and 2 Starfield of Nyx give 10 hits. Show me one of my 10 hits. There's one of my 10 hits, baby. Alright, so let's... It's unlikely that they play Dazed, but I have been dazed out of Storm before. Here's a Starfield of Nyx. Is that the game, opponent? Did we get there? As long as you control 5 or more enchantments. So, we do have to cast 1 more enchantment. Well, technically, Starfield's just going to bring back the Leyline they discarded, right here, Combustion, and then they'll be locked out of the game. So, they have 1 turn in order to answer this Ethersworn Canist, and Starfield of Nyx next turn will bring back Leyline of Combustion. And then even if it wasn't animating everything, which I don't think it is, because that's 5 or more other, right? 5 or more. So it won't animate it, but... Oh, is this an Echoing Truth? That's Echoing Truth. Alright, this is a good chance we're dead. Opponent gets to play all their cantrips now. Double Echoing Truth. Uh-oh. So like I said, you give Storm too many turns, they will kill you. So this is them very likely killing us. They correctly waited till our end step. Building up double Echoing Truth there is pretty hot. See what they do here. 1, 2, 3 Storm count currently. Once again, if they don't kill us, we're just going to Starfield of Nyx back this Leyline of Combustion, and then cast Ethersworn Canist. And Chalice on 2. Which seems like a pretty rough spot to be in. So they're going to cast Infernal Tutor with cards in hand. Alright, so they're cracking LED in response. Alright, cool. Not sure what they can grab here. We are at 19, so we're not dead to a Storm count of 8. Or, sorry, of 9. 8 plus the Tendrils. Seems to be what the opponent is doing, though. So, Infernal Tutor for Infernal Tutor is fine. Let's cast again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opponent might just be doing a Tendrils to stay alive. So it looks like just, empty the warrens. Sure. Alright, opponent. Well, we might not get all of our things back this... Oh, we do. Alright, cool. Draw. Activate. So this is for 5. And cast this for 2. I don't want to turn off my own stuff, so I'm going to cast this on 0. This is fine. We're going to get in there if they want to trade for our Leylines, it's fine. We're currently... I believe this is the correct attack. Yeah. Opponent's going to take 4. We're going to double chump on their swing back. Yep. Opponent's at 5, and we have all of our Leylines still. So our deck is very simple. What we do is very linear. We slam Leylines on the table and see what we can do with that. So hopefully y'all are enjoying this. I'm kind of having a blast. Keep in mind, this is only game 2. We actually won game 1. They can't swing out here or else they just die. Let's see how many they decide to swing with, because they will lose 2. Okay, this is a race we're winning by a lot. I guess the opponent had no option but to go for goblins. Makes sense. Alright, so we're going to return this to the battlefield. Yep. Draw a card. Ooh, crop rotation. Alright, so if we go to combat, we attack with everything. We're pretty bad against an Echoing Truth. If I attack with this, any 2 creatures that get through are lethal, so they can let 1 through. So if the opponent's 1 card was another Echoing Truth, swing out. If they put 2 on the other one, we'll know that they have Echoing Truth. Okay, cool, they don't. So it's just chumps around the board, which is exactly what we were hoping to inspire there. So they'll take 2, and now any single Leyline that gets through is lethal. So they're at 3. They get 1 spell this turn. They have 6 attackers, or likely 6 blockers. Trigger, take 2. I don't know if they were aware that that works on duress, or if they just want to take a look at our hand for the game. Alright, cool. So we're somehow undefeated with Leylines so far, so that's kind of wild. Man, Leylines is a crazy deck, isn't it? Just, this is what I got. Is it good enough? Oh, it is? Sweet. Alright, let's see what we do this game. I'm hoping to kill at least 1 opponent on turn 1 this league. Alright. Alright. I think this hand's fine, so we're going to keep this. Makes me wish we had Rest in Peace in our deck, obviously. We're going to go ahead and play this. We're going to pass the turn. So, unfortunately, we drew our 3 useless Leylines. None of them do anything. I mean, I lied. All of them do something. None of them do anything relevant. See what the opponent's on? Very excited. Oh no, it's Storm again. Huh. If it's Storm again, it's Dredge. Okay. A little unfortunate our pregame effect wasn't Leyline of the Void, apparently. So, just gonna let this happen. Keeping chill. Yep. Do we just concede to Dredge? I kind of want to see how many green cards they have. Find out, obviously, besides Grave Trolls. Okay, fun fact, I recently played Vintage Dredge, and it turns out you're only allowed one Grave Troll in that format. How crazy, right? So they're playing Creeping Chills in their Dredge deck. They have tons of Bridge from Belows. I think this is one where we can safely concede. Yeah. Well played, opponent. Alright, so we already have Leylines of the Void as a main deck card for us. I think we bring in the Surgical Extractions over what's probably the worst one. Leyline of Lightning, I guess. And Punishment. Yeah, because if they can't gain life, that's marginal something. Let's go. So, unfortunately, obviously, the busted Dredge hand there just absolutely ran us over. But, that's okay. We get to bring in Surgicals, and we mainboard Leylines of the Void. It's unfortunate it wasn't one of our games that we got to put it directly into play. But that's okay. You know why? Because maybe this game 2 is the game where I kill my opponent before they even get a draw step. Let's find out. Maybe that's why we were destined to lose game 1, is so that when we're playing game 2, we get to be on the play. I mean, our opponent effectively killed us on the first turn. It would really just be one good turn deserves another. You know what I'm saying? Alright. See what we got here. We're taking a long turn to sideboard. My guess would be either they're looking at recent finishes or cards that decks that play the cards that we have shown them, or they're trying to find our stream. Which, if they find the stream, awesome. Tune in. Find out that we have very little control over our actual own game actions. All right, we would like to play first. Nutso hand, please. Ooh, this hand has both the good ley lines. Both the good ley lines. And Opalescence. Triple crop rotation. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Only because it has both the good ley lines. So it's a little unfortunate one of these crop rotations wasn't literally any other ley line. Because then we could cast this Opalescence if we eventually got there. Alright, so opponent's on mull to 4. Mulliganing to 4 again. Alright. Let's put in 2 ley lines. And pass our first turn. Deck's feeling a little less powerful this game, but that's okay. See if they just Nature's Claim the Void right off the bat. Yep. Nature's Claim on Leyline the Void. That's almost worthy of a concession by itself, to be fair. Let's find out what we get from here, though. So close. Alright, so these are all the spells. It looks like we're losing match 2 against Dredge, unfortunately. Maybe they just don't have a Dredger or whatever, though? I guess the Surgical Extraction is kind of a draw. Let's take away their imps. Okay, opponent, what's your last card in hand? Yes, we had Surgical Extraction and Leyline the Void. Did you have... Okay, you had 2 Nature's Claim... Oh, all 4. So 4 Nature's Claims coming in makes sense, obviously, against this being an enchantment-based stack. Alright. And their card in hand was the other Stinkweed Imp, which is great. So make sure to get the one out of the grave every single time. If you don't, you will feel maximum sad. So opponent gets to draw a card from their deck now. Which, to be fair, could be a better Dredger. It looks like it was just an LED, though. So we'll take one here. Leyline of Meek is not what we were looking for. We were really hoping to draw Mana Confluence into Mana Confluence. Yeah, this is... we're going to need a lot of draws for them to have dead for this Putrid Imp to not get there in time. So let's go ahead and discard the first crop rotation. I'm going to keep 2. The reason why I'm keeping 2 is if we can get a couple of enchantment. Alright. I will concede to the opponent putting a Golgari Grave Troll in their graveyard. Alright, so we're 1-1. 2-0 the first match, 0-2 the second. Let's see what we can do here for this game 3. Both of the matches were non-interactive, so it's not like I can say the more interactive the deck is, the better. Although the opponent did interact with us with the Nature's Claim, or their deck didn't do very much. Interesting that it was Nature's Claim. That does mean that if we had had multiple Leyline in the Void, we probably would have run away with the game. Pegajusis. What you got? Let's see what they are playing. Let's look at our hand. I think our hand's a mulligan. Or is it? Yeah, because it's the bad Leylines, right? I think if it was the good Leylines, I would have kept. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we're looking for, so keep. Bottom Starfield. Pre-game 4 Leylines. Alright. While we don't technically kill our opponent on 1, we do get to take some draw steps at getting them. There's this Helm of Obedience. Hopefully Leyline of the Void is just backbreaking, like if we're against Dredge again. But we'll have no way of knowing that. Leyline Punishment and Leyline of Lightning are the bad red Leylines. There's a good one. It says that whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, shock that controller. So like against most decks that are trying to remove your permanents, it'll do at least 2 damage. That's not a lot, and I totally understand that. But against decks that maybe plan on thought seizing you 2 or 3 times, that thought seize is suddenly hitting them for 4 damage. So, not sure where our opponent's at. Not sure where you guys are at. Where you at, opponent? I'm looking for you. Pegajusis, please report to the dance floor. Pegajusis, please report to the dance floor. Alright, we're going to get Thoughtseized on 1. Nah, Exploration. Alright, so they're lands. This is not blank against lands. This looks like another crop rotation. Gamble. Okay. Well, depending on what they gamble for, definitely goes to their exile. Abrupt Decay. Well, something tells me that wasn't what they gambled for, considering that none of our permanents in play currently. Alright. Alright, we're going to end a turn, play Helm of Obedience, and then we're going to kill our opponent. I am really excited. This deck is so much fun. Okay, so who the opponent plays here? Couple lands out. That makes sense. Yeah, so even if they have like crop rotation for Glacial Chasm, I think we still get them here. So crop rotation. We're not going to pay the 1. I forget that that does things. I forget that Leylines do things except for Sanctity and of the Void. No. We will be grabbing a card with crop rotation, though. So let's go grab a Sheriff's Sanctum, and then cast our Helm of Obedience. And then yield through this turn. And then no. I can't always know that. Alright, let's see if the opponent has removal for Leyline. If they do, this Helm of Obedience will not kill them. If they don't, this Helm of Obedience will kill them. Let's find out. Kind of exciting though, right? That was definitely the good draws. So this deck's got its high points, that's for sure. It's fun. That's my favorite high point so far. Is I am playing this deck with a smile on my face. I am not going like, have you ever played the Jeskai Snow mirror in Pauper? Now that's a miserable mirror to play. The Helm of Obedience? Nah, that's where it's at. So the good news is that ideally we just untap and kill them. The good news is if we draw Opalescence, no, we're not gonna do this, and we're already yielding through this turn. So yeah, let's go ahead and helm our opponent. We're gonna pay the full amount, even though we don't have to. So if our opponent lets us resolve, we'll check out their exile as well. They may also not understand the interaction between Helm of Obedience and Leyline of the Void, but it looks like based on their actions here, they do. So this is crop rotation. Is this making a 20/20 in response? Because if so, that's not going to do it, opponent. Alright, crop rotation resolves. Dark Depths. And we exile your whole library if this resolves. Last card in hand would have to be real good. Alright. So we're just going to go ahead and yield till the next end step. Let them make their 20/20, and then we'll kill them with a Helm of Obedience. Hype. Helm of Obedience hype. Do we target ourselves? Target opponent puts cards until X. Oh no, we just milled their whole library. Okay. Let's go ahead and double check. So we're going to look. That pause there definitely threw me off. So we definitely killed them. Let's go ahead and look at the sideboard. So they are closer to regular lands than exploration lands. Whew. Tabernacle, huh? Wonder if they'll keep that in. The fact that they have wastelands is scary. Reason why, we only have non-basics. So there's not much we can do about that. If they have wastelands, they have wastelands. That being said, sideboarding. Sideboarding. We might be able to flash in the O-ring. I don't know if I like this. I think 2 Oblivion Rings and 2 Enlightened Tutors is probably the split. Then, yeah. So let's try this. Not sure what the opponent might have here for this next game, but let's find out. Ooh, let's see. Do we have at least 3 Leylines? We only have, or at least 4 Leylines. We only have 3. We can go ahead and keep this. Put in our 3 Leylines. If we had the other good red Leyline, which is the Leyline of Combustion, every time they wasteland us, they'd take 2 damage. Let's find out what the opponent does on 1 here. Goes for a gamble. Alright. Probably for Life in the Loam. Discards Thespian Stage, alright. Good chance that it was not Thespian Stage that they were tutoring. Alright, so Mana Confluence this turn and then Yield. We showed them crop rotation, so hopefully they don't get too Wasteland happy. And if they don't get too Wasteland happy, and they don't... Alright, that's not a Wasteland, but it could still be crop rotation for one. I'm obviously very nervous here. Let's see. Tranquil Thicket cycles, yep. We're going to go and yield through this turn. Alright, Mana Bond. Opponent gets to put in all of their lands. Maze of Ith, Field of the Dead, Life in the Lone Bayou. Okay. So none of those were Wasteland, luckily. So let's chunk in for 12 this turn. We get to chunk in for more. No, right? Okay. So we just cast Opalescence here. And attack them for 12. I guess... Oh, that's funny. Their Mana Bomb becomes a 1/1. They can chump block with it if they want. It's pretty good. Maze of Ith will untap one of my attacking creatures each turn. So we're basically hoping to draw into more white Leylines. Opalescence will... I didn't realize Opalescence turned on their creatures, obviously. But second Opalescence will animate both next turn, and I can swing in. Alright, so my Leyline of Sanctity is prevented from dealing damage. And I guess they wanted to keep Mana Bond? What do they have in their graveyard? Nothing that exciting. Alright, well, let's see what they have. So, Dredge, obviously. And they can prevent one of our attackers with Maze of Ith. Oh, Mana Bond triggers end of turn, making enough zombies. Alright, sure, that makes sense. And we can't swing in, obviously, with the Summoning Sick, Opalescence. Alright, opponent. So it's 3 different names, so that's 6 power in zombies. Pretty good. Yeah, I can't swing in with this Opalescence unless I play the second, so it's not like I can just swing in with all these. Yeah. But it's going to make a whole bunch of zombies here. Yes. We can also cast Leyline of Life Force here. But that won't have haste. And they're just going to make 6 power every turn. I think this is our... Just so you know, I see the line. I believe we cast Opalescence here. Whoa, we don't tap Mana Confluence if we don't have to. Opalescence. Alright. And then we get in there. Opponent has some very good blocks if they make them. It's probably Maze of Ith 1 zombie on each, or 2 zombies on 1. Block 1, take 4. But I still think this is the best line we have, unfortunately. Ah, didn't realize that their fetch gave him another land. Alright, yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yep. Kills Opalescence and Leyline of Lightning. Alright. So the reason why they're removing Leylines from play is, yeah, this is fine. Is because, oh, well, they just didn't block lethal damage. Alright. Well done. We got there. I'm like, his blocks seem a little off, so alright, we got there, guys. let's go forward to round 3. We are currently 2-1 with Leylines. We're having lots of fun here, that's for sure. If oh, Legacy Goblins, thank you so much for following the stream. I appreciate that. It might have happened a minute ago. Unfortunately, I'm very new to streaming. So I appreciate all of you that are tuning in as well. Let's see what we have here. All the good, well, almost all the good ley lines. We'd really like to have the white ley line as well, but I think that this is a keep. Alright, so we're going to put 5 permanents on the battlefield, and then it's your turn to pound it. Well, I mean, it was already your turn, but you may continue taking your turn. Bile. Okay, that's not one. Opalescence. Opalescence 1 time. Opalescence no force. We actually even beat Dazed because we had 5 ley lines. Be great if we were able to draw into it. Not this go, though. So we're playing this out knowing full well that it might be wastelanded. Heck, we might even be encouraging our opponent to set themselves back a land drop and wasteland it, as the redundant Sarah Sanctum in our hand doesn't really do anything. This hand. So we're just holding our breaths. Ideally, we draw into the Opalescence, obviously, or Starfield of Nyx. If we... Oh, let's see what we get here. Starfield? Opalescence? Alright, so this land is legendary, so playing 2 out is stone raining ourselves. Which, I'm as much of a fan as anyone of a good stone rain. Well, unfortunately for our opponent, we will never control more lands than them. So, it looks like they're humans. So, if that's the case, then we are absolutely terrified of a card that's name I can't remember that allows you to... It was an invitational card, allows you to name a card and it can't be cast. Meddling Mage. There we go. So, opponent gets in for 1. We get in for lethal if we draw the card we're looking for. Lethal? Yeah! Yes. No force of will, opponent. Yes, we will also deal 1 damage to you. That's fine. No. We don't want to die to Daze. How funny would that be to get dazed after paying for a Ley Line of Lightning? Alright, let's animate him up. Let's go. Alright, lost mana warning, that's fine. Beginning of combat, and let's get in there for 20. See what the opponent has. Likely a blocker. Like, I'd be surprised if they didn't have at least 1 blocker. Strix is a really good blocker, too. 2 blockers? Seems good. What's the 1-drop, though? Mother of Runes. I'm sure they definitely wanted to turn more to develop that, because Baleful Strix plus Mother of Runes, there's a good chance that actually would have got there for our opponent. Matter of fact, if they have Swords to Plowshares, there's a good chance it still does. Them blocking here says that they probably don't have swords, which is really good. Leyline of Combustion, such a good card. So they're making the best block and going to 2. Alright, opponent does have 3 cards left in hand and hasn't gone to their draw step yet, so 4 cards in hand when they draw. And we have 16 power in play that we're hoping just pushes us right on through. Mother of Runes can protect herself, so currently they have 2 chump blockers. They need to produce a minimum of 3. Well, Mother of Runes isn't really a chump blocker. Mother of Runes is just a blocker. Another Opalescence here would be really good, or Starfield of Nyx, because then that allows us to get in with the first one as well. Recruiter here is pretty good, because that's 2. So let's see what Recruiter goes and grabs. Oh no! That's a scary one. I believe that exiles enchantments, right? I can't check what it does. I'm sure it will. It does. Exile target artifact or enchantment. No! Alright, so the good news is we can draw another opalescence. Right? Just drawing another opalescence does it? So let's see if we can rip it off the top. Draw. Opalescence. I mean, we are going to cast this Leyline. And if we get to the point we can cast 2 more Leylines, we can kill our opponent with Leylines of Lightning. So I'm sorry for calling you worthless, Leyline of Lightning. Please let us draw 2 more white Leylines. It looks like they're spell piercing it, which is fine. It's correct. Dazing it, yeah. So they did have daze. So if we had gone for the shock off the Leyline of Lightning, we would not have resolved our opalescence. That's good to know. So I wonder if that's got some fear into our opponent, that triggered ability that almost put them to 1. Especially because I'm sure they'd still like to have access to fetch lands if they have them. Like, one trick you can do is fetch, hold priority, activate Weathered Wayfarer, I control less lands. Resolve Weathered Wayfarer, resolve fetch. So, Weathered Wayfarer is a fun magic card, that's for sure. Leonian Relic Warder, though. I'm going to say I didn't see that one coming. I really didn't want to see that one coming. But, you know, happens. It's no big deal. Right, keeping 2 vials at 3, playing their land, and see if they get in for it. Oh no, that's a bad one for them to have found. See, they don't need lands, they have vials. Vials are better than lands. Oh, they're a Soul Herder deck. Okay, interesting. I have not seen this deck before in Legacy, so it's very possible the opponent's also playing a Brew. This seems like a very safe attack for the opponent. Alright, so we're yielding until yield and turn off auto yields. Yield through this turn. Okay. Cool. So ideally, they're going to flicker Recruiter, the card here. Yep. We draw... We'd have to draw Serra Sanctum into Opalescence, but the good news is we can draw it in either order. True Name Nemesis. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's coming in next turn. Alright, so there's the Opalescence. So now what we have to do is we have to take the draw step at... double check, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is not lethal on their side of the board. So we still have to draw Serra Sanctum. We're not out of the woods by any means. But if we can rip it off the top, that would be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Let's see if we can do it. Hey everyone out there that's watching, by the way. I appreciate you viewing my stream. If you like what you see, please definitely give me a follow. I definitely appreciate you being here. You can also check out my YouTube. I have tons of Legacy brews, as well as fun, wacky decks like this, Modern and Legacy. Hey, this True Name Nemesis knows me so well. This attack's kind of risky out of the opponent, unless they have another Daze in hand. Alright, this attack says, I don't care. So either they already have the counterspell. Sure, Blinks Recruiter. Recruiter grabs... What are you grabbing this time? I don't think this is a Flicker Wisp deck, but it might be. It looks like it should be, if it's not. Reveals, I have no idea, because it's on that side of the screen. Ah, it doesn't matter, we died. Darn! Alright, so we're gonna go to sideboarding. Alright, so I think we want these Oblivion Rings. Especially if we don't want this one can't at all. The reason why I feel like we need these Oblivion Rings is because the opponent has the Leonin Relic Warder. And if we can answer it even just the one time, hopefully the one time, is all we'll need. It's a little unfortunate they can tutor it. What's our least powerful Leylines? Probably of the Meek, there's a chance that they have some form of token. They did reveal Flicker Wisp, okay. Punishment, damage can't be prevented. Let's go ahead and take 2 of those back. Oh, no. Hello, Mother of Runes. Let's go ahead and keep in those Leylines of punishment. Leyline of Void's part of our combo kill. They're not really thought-seizing us at all, so I guess... The sad part about cutting white Leylines, though, is they're our most castable Leyline. I guess we really don't need to try and play the flash game with them. Yeah... I feel like we should keep in the white Leylines because they're more castable than the blue. But our submit button is already been clicked, so this is what we're playing with. Ah, Motobugs. Ah, Motobugs. Moto never change. Moto never change. Alright. Let's see what we're going against now. What kind of interaction do you have, opponent? It's a little unfortunate they found that relic, or the recruiter of the Garden Time. We were very close. Very, very close. Additionally, the Baleful Strix removing the Leyline of Combustion. Exactly at 2. So that's also showing off the power of Leyline of Combustion, though. If we had had 2 Leylines of Combustion instead of one of the other Leylines, that game was locked. That being said, this game is literally just... we take very little game actions that we have any kind of agency over. So as soon as our opponent finishes sideboarding, maybe it's us. Let's go ahead and return the game, submit deck. My button's not lit up, so I hope it let us sideboard at least what we wanted here, which is these Oblivion Rings. So, if we see any Leylines of the Meek, we'll know that Moto did not let us sideboard. And if so, womp womp. If it did not let us sideboard, I guess I got a free lead. Thanks, Wizards. Alright, so, we'd like to play first. We were unable to sideboard because we have Leyline of the Meek. If this was any other Leyline, this would be our turn 1 kill. Dang! We're so close. Oh, that's so close. Any land, white Leyline, or Opalescence puts us in a pretty good spot, so we're going to go ahead and keep this and put in our 4 Leylines. I don't think I want to play out Sarah's Sanctum yet, since they are a Wasteland deck, so it's their turn. That gives us more draws at Opalescence as well, because currently we can cast Opalescence and attack for a bunch. It's a little bit of a bummer there. Or if this had been Opalescence instead of our 1 or 2 of Starfield of Nyx, that'd have been pretty dope too. Not my favorite, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to pass the turn. And we're going to hope that the opponent has no interaction, which is, I know, a big hope skis. But if the opponent has absolutely no interaction, we'll be able to put 16 attacking power in play. That's a Meddling Mage, which is fine. Yeah, so we're actually going to let that resolve. It's going to name Opalescence. And now we get to Enlightened Tutor for... oh no, we don't have O-Ring in our deck anymore because of the glitch. If we had O-Ring in our deck, we got to Enlightened Tutor for O-Ring. Instead, we are still going to shock them twice, or ping them twice, and then we're going to go grab a Leyline, I guess. Can't even grab Helm of Obedience because we didn't start with a black Leyline. I guess just a Leyline of Sanctity. Not the best grab, but it'll allow us to, the turn afterwards, cast Starfield of Nyx. So let's see what we got here. Cast and Leyline Sanctity. Your turn, opponent. This time, we will not be shocking our opponent. So, it's going to make us say no each time. So, Leyline of Lightning, while at least it has some amount of value post-board, is also still one of the more annoying Leylines to have to deal with. So, second Meddling Mage on... No. Second Meddling Mage on Starfield of Nyx or Wasteland loses the game for us. I unfortunately will be filing for comp. I hate doing that. It's been literally a year since I last did. But us being completely unable to sideboard and therefore not have access to Oblivion Ring, definitely a very real thing that just happened. Oh my god, we're still going to win this game. Alright, here's Starfield of Nyx. Trigger, trigger. Please don't have Daze. Opponent does play Daze, so... Please do not have Daze, opponent. Or Force, I guess. Please just have a bunch of white creatures. Oh god, that's the worst Force for them to have, too. We can't win anymore, because we don't have access... See, once again, we would have O-ringed this. This Enlightened Tutor grabs no Opalescence. So we're going to concede and move on. Opponent wins this match. We will, in the future... future Alex, please remember to file for comp, because at least that game you would have won. We unfortunately collectively don't get to find out how that match would have ended, but at least we're having some fun here with some Leylines. So we are 1-3, or 2-2, 2-2. Ooh, 2-2's not bad, right? Chance of going 3-2 with this deck still. And this deck is a total meme. 100% a meme. That being said, I might be one to take it to like a Legacy 1K. There's a couple shops out here that host a lot of Legacy events, and those are pretty cool. Waiting for our last opponent. Alright, looks like they showed up. Let's find out what they're doing. Alright, so, yep. So what does this hand do? This hand is all the Leylines. I just need an Alright, we're going to keep this. Especially because it's the good Leylines. So we don't even need Opalescence. We can actually rip Helm of Obedience off the top. And this is still lethal. So, and there's a non-zero amount of matchups where having the two good Leylines in play just win it for you. So Leyline, 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 Leyline. Go ahead. We don't play out Sarah's Sanctum because of Wasteland. If they show that they might be a Hymn to Torok deck, we'll play it on 2. It's a little unfortunate there. If one of those Leylines had been in Opalescence, we'd have been beaten in for lethal on the first turn. Like, this is our last match to try and do it, so I am kind of hoping. Uh-oh. This looks like the black-green lands. Depths. Hex depths. Yep. Whatever you discard will be exiled. Thespian stage. Alright. We're just going to yield through this turn. I guess we can't be himmed either. Sylvan Library is a good one. Any of our Starfield effects or Opalescence. Opponent is 100% a Wasteland deck, so we're just going to pass the turn. We have the mana to cast Opalescence or Starfield of Nyx, so neither one of those matters very much. Curious if the opponent's on Assassin's Trophies or Abrupt Decays. If they're on Assassin's Trophies, they'll find that they have plenty of targets. If they're on Abrupt Decays, they'll find they have 0 legal targets in our deck. At least main board. Post board, though, we're probably not bringing in the Oblivion Rings. We're hoping probably just to Herpa-Derpa. Herpa-Derpa on turn 2. That's the best way to kill him dead. Alright, so the opponent takes 4. Let's see what they play here. The Swamp Forest. Curious how many discard spells are currently in our opponent's hand. See, I'm not saying I called that Wasteland, but do you see that Wasteland right there on the battlefield? I called that. Alright, I picture we probably have one more draw step to try and get that Opalescence or Starfield of Nyx. So let's get there. I might be lying, and we might actually have 2. But no, that looks like a 20/20 to me. We kill them through the 20/20 if we just draw it this turn. Opalescence 4 of Starfield of Nyx. Let's go. Draw it. Draw it. Ah, no, it's Leyline Punishment. Oh well, let's concede the game. Well played, opponent. Alright, let's see. What do we want here? I don't think we want anything. Like I said, I think we just want to kind of herpa-derpa. We don't have anything that interacts with them. We have surgicals, but that doesn't really do much. I think this is just to submit and see how this goes for game 2. Let's see how it goes. Either way, I had fun this league. We would like to play first. Oh no, this is close to the nuts hand. If this Opalescence and Enlightened Tutor had been Leylines, let's mulligan. This one I feel pretty safe powdering. It takes away one of our Opalescence but gives us a new 7. Control Z. Undo. Cancel. Oh, we put a card on bottom before we powder. Duh. Alright, Opalescence on bottom. Done. Let's powder. Alright, so new hand. Probably going to 5. We get a new 7 at 5. So let's see here. This looks like keep to me. It's not fast. This looks like a keep. So we're going to put 2 cards on bottom. Has to be the crop rotation, which means we're drawing to another land, but I think that's fine. For game 2 effects. So we can just draw another Serra's Sanctum, is why I'm leading off in Serra's Sanctum here. It's not the best, but we're on kind of a low mulligan. Our nut kill draw only works on a mulligan to, let's see, or Leylines, mulligan to, so only on 7. But we do get to kill, effectively kill a lot on mulligans to 6 and 5, if we just have Opalescence plus Serra's Sanctum and a bunch of Leylines. I mean, or multiple, yeah. You get what I'm saying. 6 is pretty much where we want to go, and we had to go 1 deeper than that. So we're hoping to dodge a Thoughtseize here. That's Thoughtseizes. This is us resolving Sadness. Is Sadness on the stat currently? It looks like it resolved. No, opponent interacted with us. Oh well. We still have draws to be attacking for 8. Not like Opalescence off the top. So let's hope good old Moto's got our back, and we're gonna Thoughtseize Bug into drawing into it. Let's go. Moto's got our back, Opalescence. This is great, because now we can actually cast the Opalescence. I forgot that we only put in 2 Leylines. For some reason, I thought we had 3. Okay, Opalescence off the top, please. Mind you, I still think Opalescence off the top will be too slow. Our opponent's deck does put a 20/20 in play pretty consistently, and it looks like they're going to have no problem accomplishing that this game. We're going to give them at least 2 more turns with this Elvish Reclaimer, which will put a 20/20 into play. Opalescence. Alright, so our opponent now kills us in 2 turns. So, well played, opponent. Opponent won the match. We ended 2-3 with this Legacy Leylines deck. So suck that one game came down to a Moto glitch, but hey, things are the way they are sometimes. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching the stream, please hit the follow button. If you're watching this in the future on YouTube, definitely make it a point to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below so I know what more content you enjoy. Alex with Lucksack Games here, telling you to have an awesome rest of your day.